and you're out there putting giant structures up in your front yard and getting your children to help you do so, and then getting your child to dress up as a dead person, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with this country? What are you doing to your kids? What are you doing to your spiritual health and their future when you are desensitizing them to the darkness that is Satan worship, the celebration of death, child sacrifice, necromancy, all of these things that in the Bible are explicitly defined as evil? And I'm not trying to clutch my pearls and be a Bible thumper here. Perhaps maybe I should be, but just think it through.
The destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the super states that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
So anyway, let's talk about Halloween a little bit, because that is today. For the last 2 months, starting on September 1st, my neighborhood, the people living within it, started putting up Halloween decorations. So literally for 2 straight months, I've been seeing people put up skeletons and witches and dead bodies, murderers, in their front lawns, in their windows, on their mailboxes. This drags on really for over 2 months, because it's not like on November 1st they take down all their Halloween decorations, right? It's going to be up for another week or 2 after that, I'm sure. So for more than 2 months of the year, when I go and do my daily walk around the neighborhood so that I can let my dog use the bathroom, I'm subjected to the promotion of necromancy, child sacrifice, death, murder. What is this? It's honestly unacceptable to live in a Christian nation and you go outside and it is unapologetic celebration of Satan, death, darkness, despair, the worst possible things in the world. These people celebrate as if they're jokes, as if it's funny. This one particular house really bothers me in my neighborhood, and I'll probably even put up a picture of their Halloween decorations. It is this 7-foot tall ghoul, an undead creature, okay? And he's holding in his hand a dead baby by its feet. In what world? Seriously, in what world is this something that is healthy for a society? In what world is this funny? In what world is this entertaining? In what way is this even morally justified? To put an undead creature, which is obviously necromancy, summoning of the dead, holding a dead infant. Why? What would compel somebody to put this in their front yard and think that this is a fun celebration of a holiday? I genuinely don't get it. It speaks to the level of spiritual decay in this country. You know, when I was growing up, okay, you went trick-or-treating, people decorated for Halloween. The kids dressed up as firemen, policemen, doctors. The girls dressed up as little princesses. If you want to dress up in a costume in one of those various varieties, that's harmless. Okay, I'm fine with that. If you want to have a holiday where your kids dress up, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a fireman. Okay, super duper cute, honestly. I have no problem with a gaggle of little kids walking around the neighborhood dressed up like those characters. But when you have them dressed up as serial killers, when you have them dressed up as undead creatures, when you have them dressed up as Satan himself with devil horns, you think that's cute? You think God's looking down on America and saying, that's harmless? Yeah, people putting out ghouls in their front yard, ghosts, witches. This one other house has this circle of 5 witches and a cauldron in the middle of them. This is a seance. This is speaking to the dark realm. And in the cauldron, there's blood boiling, bones. I'm almost at a loss for words that this has become normalized. Like I said, I don't have a problem if you want to dress up as a scarecrow. I don't have a problem if you want to carve some pumpkins and put them out on your front porch. Put out a bale of hay, a cornucopia, some autumn decorations. You know, like this stuff that's fine. But if you want to go out there and put Freddy Krueger and Ghostface from Scream and Jason and Chucky, there's this other house in the neighborhood that has a literal body bag in their front yard. What is that about? Who can tell me how this is healthy for a society? You think that's funny? You think it's cute? You think it's edgy? To put child sacrifice, engagement with the devil in your front yard as decoration, you think that's harmless? Need I remind you, by the way, that these things cost money? All of these Halloween decorations, this other house in my neighborhood, I did the math, because you go to Sam's Club and they have those giant 7-10 foot tall werewolves and so on. These things that cost $300, $400 for one decoration. A giant Grim Reaper. This one house in the neighborhood has, I'm not exaggerating, probably $5,000 worth of Halloween decoration in their yard. $5,000. And I know for a fact that this household has multiple small children. What are you doing to your kids? What are you doing to your spiritual health and their future when you are desensitizing them to the darkness that is Satan worship, the celebration of death, child sacrifice, necromancy, all of these things that in the Bible are explicitly defined as evil, and you're out there putting giant structures up in your front yard and getting your children to help you do so, and then getting your child to dress up as a dead person? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with this country? And I'm not trying to clutch my pearls and be a Bible thumper here. Perhaps maybe I should be. But just think it through. And here's, honestly, this is unrelated to the spiritual decay that I'm talking about. Here's a separate thing that is more relevant to politics that I really want you to ponder. Anybody who follows me knows 2 months ago, I got fired from my job because this Judas sent some of my social media content to my employer. Some content where I used a racial slur. Okay, that was enough to fire me from my job, to take food off of my table, to put my mortgage at risk, to harm my professional reputation, to make it so that I can't afford medical insurance, because I used a racial slur. That was enough to terminate me from my job. By the way, in my personal time. I didn't use it in the workplace. I never demonstrated any form of harassment or discrimination on racial or any other subjects in the workplace. Still, the fact that I use a racial slur in my own personal private time, probably in a joking way because I don't use these things derogatorily, that was still enough to get me terminated from my job. Ironically, the very same employer who terminated me, their CEO on their social media, with their title as CEO of the company, is out there bragging about how they use company funds and the trusted profits that the customers hand over to them when they shop there to fund abortion, child sacrifice. They take your money when you shop at their store. They leverage the hard work of the employees internally. They take their labor, they take that money from their customers, and they fund the death of children in the womb. And they celebrate it on social media. And they portray it as women's health care or some other nonsense. Okay? It's fine when the CEO of the company does that. With the customer's money, with the labor of the employees, it's fine. It's not a risk to their reputation when the company's owner, the chief executive officer, brags about murdering children, using customers' dollars to do so, and using my hard work to do so. That's not a potential risk to the reputation of the company. But when I, who am not even using my full name, who have never linked myself to my employer, use a racial slur as a joke in a conversation, I get terminated from my job, okay? This is the connection point to Halloween that I want to make. Let's just say I knew where that person worked, who has the ghoul in their front yard, who's holding a dead baby. If I sent a picture of that to their employer and said, hey, are you aware that your employee is out here celebrating necromancy and child sacrifice? They think that's a normal thing to do. They've erected this in their front yard where children are walking by with the specific intent to make sure children see it. That is the Halloween holiday, trick-or-treating, children walking the neighborhood, looking at the decorations. Hundreds of children are going to observe this undead sacrifice of babies. Hi, employer. Did you know your employee is doing this? Do you think there would be any action at all toward that employee? Any. Josh used a racial slur as a joke while talking about politics. This other employee is celebrating the worship of the dead and the murder of infants. Do you get it now? This isn't simply a matter of spiritual decay. It's illustrative also of the idolization of the racial conversation above everything else. It is the one thing, as it pertains to Jews, blacks, anybody who is not white, you cannot go there. You can obviously advocate for murdering children in the womb. You can advocate for celebrating worship of the dead. You can advocate for slicing the genitalia off of children. You can advocate for stealing children and giving them to homosexuals to raise so that they are deprived of their paternal and maternal relationships, growing up in a homosexual household, never understanding what the proper dynamic of the family is. You can advocate for all of those things. You can advocate for everything that is clearly anti-Christian, worshiping death, worshiping sin. You can do all of these things. What you cannot do is use a racial slur.
Meeting the people that you actually want to meet this day and age is basically impossible. Well, I have a solution to these problems. You're wearing your anti-Zog merchandise, that cutie from across the gym. She knows what the Zog is. She knows that Save Europa is code for white genocide. Or if it's somebody of the same gender, boom, you just got yourself a new best friend. This is your opportunity. Everybody's always complaining about how hard it is to find people who know what's really going on. Well, this is it. This is how you broadcast those beliefs to the world.
That's what's dangerous to your career. That's what's so dangerous in society, is to say, you know what, if a white person wants to live in an all-white neighborhood, is that really so bad? Is it really so bad when we point out the fact that the overwhelming majority of violent crime in this country and most other crime comes from black people? Is it really so bad to point out the fact that no matter where blacks are on the earth, they have not created a civilization that is remotely as attractive as the 50 European countries in this world? Not one, presently or historically. Is it really so bad to say that? Or should we look at something like murdering children, mutilating children, celebrating the death of the nuclear family, spreading denialism about the interchangeability of men and women, pretending that they're the same, pretending that men can get pregnant, pretending that women are just as capable and equally attributed as men? Society is so unbelievably inverted, and it is so obvious that the racial conversation, specifically, to be critical or even aware of the difference between races, to speak about preference for one's own, only applied for white people. Obviously, if you're black and you say, yeah, of course I want a black wife or husband because I want to have black children. I feel safest, like I'm in my own skin, like I can be myself when I'm around other black people. I see other blacks with less skepticism than others. You can say all those things. If you're Asian and you say, yeah, my friend group, I want to keep them mostly Asian. I feel more comfortable when I go to school if there's more Asians there. I love Asian culture. I love my ancestors. I think all of the Asian countries should stay majority Asian. And they should be led by Asian people because Asian people built those countries. Obviously, I don't have to do this every single time. That never applies to white people. It only applies to non-white people. Take your pick. It doesn't matter. Jews, Asians, Arabs, Hispanics, Africans, and simply pointing out this racial dynamic, that it has been elevated to being worse than a sin against God, murder, okay, idolatry, these various things that we see every day on an ongoing basis, criticism or a simple awareness or preference around race, that is a worse offense to society, to employers, to churches, than to erect a undead creature in your front yard waving a dead baby around, to erect a seance circle of witches around a cauldron of human remains, to put serial killers in your windows, idolizing and glamorizing them. I'm done. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, you guys. Like, it's not just spiritual, it's obviously also political. It's easy to see the spiritual inversion that has happened here, but when you remember how easily we swallow and allow and tolerate all of this anti-Christian stuff, it's not just an awareness that all of this is anti-Christian that you should be aware of. It's that these things are tolerated. Being pro-white is not. Being critical of other races, their cultures, their group behavior is not. It's important to make that connection point. It's much more than a Christian problem. It's a political problem. The stack ranking of offenses is obviously way out of calibration. When you lose your career because you used a racial slur as a joke, but nobody gives two shits whatsoever that you have constructed an altar to communicating with the undead and murdering children in your front fucking yard, we are way off the plot. Way off the plot. The fact that there is no repercussion, the fact that people think it's funny, it's amusing, it's harmless. I can't wait for the kids to come see this. They're going to be so scared and terrified. Since when did we want that? Since when did we want to terrify our children by exposing them in broad daylight every day of their life to unfettered violence? Anyway, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, trick or treat. I can't wait until tomorrow when the season is over. By the way, I put up my Christmas decorations already. Did the same thing last year. I put up my Christmas decorations on October 1st last year because I like to counteract some of the optics. Remind everybody, this is a Christian country. The most important holiday we have is Christmas, the celebration of Jesus Christ, okay? It is not Halloween. It's not Valentine's Day. It's not Thanksgiving. The single most important day of all of our lives when it comes to the annual calendar should be the remembrance of Jesus Christ, his birth, what it represents, his death on the cross, and how we are infinitely indebted to him, that he is our only means of salvation. He's our only means of even understanding ourselves and this world. He's our only mode of relationship with the creator of the universe. And then you'll walk around the neighborhood and it's like some Christmas decorations here, some there, but everybody fucking loves Halloween. Anyway, so yeah, guys, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this Halloween special. Check out the releases every single day this week, reacting to the Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes interview. I think you guys will really like that. There's a lot of extra commentary there, much far beyond simply summarizing. So Tucker asked this, and here's how Nick responded. I added a lot. That's why it's so long. So anyways, guys, I'm going to finish this pre-workout here. Got to get myself caffeinated. If you'd like to support Beholden To Truth, my platform, get yourself something from the store over on beholdentotruth.com. You might need a anti-Zog hoodie, tank top, t-shirt. There is also the Save Europa merch line, which is speaking about white genocide in 2 succinct words. Hey, we got to save Europa. It's that simple. People get it. When they see it, anybody who is aware, they know what that means. And you have that telepathic, instant bond with that person. they know what Save Europa means, then they have probably 90% of the same worldview as you do. And the same with seeing an anti-Zog hoodie, t-shirt, whatever. They know immediately. As soon as they see that hoodie or that t-shirt, that tank top, the water bottle, whatever it is that you have, you just made a new friend, maybe a lifting partner. Maybe you'll get a date out of it. That's kind of my fantasy. I'd love to hear from one of you guys that you were just out and about and that cute girl or that guy or whoever said, oh, you know about the Zog, huh? Yeah, I know about the Zog. You want to talk about it over coffee? Love to. You want to sit down and watch some documentaries? Would love to. How did your family respond when you tried to talk to them? That's how my family responded. I'm doing my best to red pill people, but you know what that's like. Can't find a good church. Can't talk about these things at work. We all know the struggle. So that's why the merch exists, obviously to help the platform, but more importantly, to get the message out there and help people connect with each other. Other than that, you can go to beholdentotruth.substack.com and you'll get early access to my full-length interviews with me, myself, or other people on my platform, early access to my full-length documentaries, early access to long-format conversations like the Tucker Carlson breakdown. Obviously, my weekly vlogs are over there as well. Goes a long way in supporting my work. So whether it's Substack or the merch store, help a brother out if you can. Until next time, love you guys. Take care of yourselves. America first, and Christ is King.
The few brave men who have actually tried to go out and do something about white genocide or talk about Jewish influence, the Zionist-occupied government, we all know that they get crucified, their careers get destroyed, and so we need to find ways to support each other. One of the ways that I have done that is by creating my Substack, where there are exclusive early access to documentaries, my weekly vlogs, there are ebooks there. There's even an opportunity to set up a one-on-one 30-minute Ask Me Anything if you'd like. All of the proceeds from my Substack, from my YouTube channel, from the merch gets reinvested in the platform. I use that to pay my employees. I use that to buy the equipment that I need, the cameras, the lights, the MacBook, all the books, all of the software, pay for marketing, everything else, but also it protects my literal life. So if you want to help out, please do head on to Substack, get yourself a subscription. Thank you. I appreciate it. America first, and Christ is King.